Now, after nearly a decade of courtroom battles, Samsung Chairman Lee Jae-yong has been acquitted by South Korea's top court, clearing the final legal hurdle that had long loomed over the tech giant. With the verdict now in, attention is turning to what this means for Samsung's future, from its core semiconductor business to emerging sectors like biotech, and how the group might navigate a shifting political landscape. For a deeper dive, we have Professor Song Soo-young from Chung-Ang University's College of Business and Economics with us this morning. Thank you for joining us, Professor.
Thank you for having me, and good morning to you.
Now, first off, while many expected this outcome following the lower court rulings, what is the broader significance of the Supreme Court's decision to acquit Lee Jae-yong?
I would like to say emphatically that this is the victory for the business, and particularly for the conglomerates in Korean economy as a jebel. So, and also I would like to point out the kind of relative incompetence of the regulators, particularly for the prosecutor's office and Financial Services Commission. I think they lack in some expertise to perform or to successfully or very effectively to regulate big companies, because always this is not only just true to Korea, but this is a general tendency of the big companies. Actually, they tend to have a more favorable business conditions, and that's why we have witnessed some kind of discontents among the people around the world.
Right. Now, zooming into the specific business for Samsung now, the semiconductor industry moves fast and often involves high-stakes decisions. And many say that legal issues, like you mentioned just now, were in the way of Samsung Electronics' adoption of the trend, leading to a recent fall in their market share. With E now legally in the clear, do you expect Samsung to make bolder moves, especially in the chips?
Yeah, actually, the most adversary to current Samsung Electronics is actually not just development of the technology or advancement of the technology in the semiconductor production, such as a high-level HBM or some AI-related semiconductors. Rather, the biggest hurdle would be some tariff imposed by the Trump administration. And this means that the Samsung, and as a head of the Samsung Group, the Lee must have exert very quick response against the changing business environment and some political uncertainties, and such as tariffs. And so, to that regards, it is good news to the Samsung Group. But there are so many different aspects on these issues because from minority shareholders' perspective, at least Samsung Group and the Samsung Electronics can save money for the future investment, because they are free of charge against the chairman of Lee. And so acquittal has such meanings. But for the institutional investors, it might have some nuanced response, because this means that governance issues still remain, and still weak or caveats still remain in the South Korean economy. So I think there is some pros and cons, but from the general investors' perspective, the institutional investors might be a little bit not surprised, but as expected, but they must have a little bit continue to have Korea discount further. But at least for the short term, it is good for Samsung and the minority shareholders.
Right, right. So speaking on that, Samsung Group also has biotech as its emerging major focus. How might this ruling affect the growth trajectory of Samsung Biologics and BioEpis?
Yeah, biologics has been listed in the Korean stock market, and the problem in the decade or more than a decade ago, it was the evaluation of the value of Samsung Biologics has been fluctuated so much from 6.8 trillion Korean won to 19.5 trillion won. Almost a 66% change of the value really causes a problem. And then the Financial Services Commission and the financial supervisors, they begin to investigate these issues. But anyway, the past is past and history is past. So now when we look forward to the future, I hope the biologics and, but actually biologics does not make any big development or big forward leap in the developing some biological pharmaceutical companies. So I hope they not only focus on some successful R&D and successful performance in bio industry, and also they could make big progress in the particularly in the semiconductor industry. So I wish you good luck to the Samsung electors and Samsung Group.
Right. Now, before you go, I want to ask you, and go back to your point on Korea discount and the governance. Lee's acquittal also coincides with the change in the presidential office here in Korea. Do you see this political shift having any impact on the group's business environment or regulatory posture, as President Lee has always emphasized what you've mentioned before?
Yeah, but when you look back the past prosecution, such as Prosecutor General, actually Yoon Sung-yeol, who is impeached president impeached president before the current government, and some Prosecutor General was Han Dong-hoon, who is also now has no public status right now. But Special Prosecutor was Park Young-soo. All these people has launched some kind of investigation over these Samsung issues, particularly the Samsung succession and some related accounting fraudulent cases, but they are not successful. That's why I start with some incompetency of regulators. So currently, the acquittal, this is a very expedited decision made by the top court. The reason is because the newly elected president or government may work as some discipline, more strong disciplinary effect over the chaebols. That's why the current judiciary system has imposed such a very quick decision and to give an acquittal to the Samsung Group and the chairman of Lee Jae-yong. So to that regard, this is good news for the business, but it may be not good for government or Korea discount.
Well, thank you so much for your insights this morning, Professor, and I hope to see you soon.
Yeah, thank you.